water and hydration on the weight loss journey. Let's talk about it, guys. Hi guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. My name is Angela. Thank you for coming and spending a little time out with me today. So guys, today we're going to talk about something that is super simple, but yet incredibly powerful for our weight loss journey. And yes, it's water. Yes, the clear stuff, it might sound really basic, but trust me, making water your best friend can really help you when it comes to transforming your weight loss results. So you might be thinking, well, Angela, I already know that water is good for me. And you're right. But do you know just how good it is for weight loss? Because it's not just about staying hydrated. It's about so much more. From boosting your metabolism to curbing those sneaky cravings that can creep in. Water, I would say, is the unsung hero. So guys, without further ado, let's just dive straight in. Get it? Pardon the pun. Let's dive straight in. So guys, number one, how does water help us on our weight loss journey? Well, we can often think about, times that we may feel hungry, or we might feel that we've got the cravings coming on. We might be thinking about reaching for a snack and we think we're hungry, but actually guys, it could just be that we're thirsty, because our bodies can sometimes confuse those signals. It's the same hormones that tells us that we're hungry is also the same hormone that mimics that we're thirsty. So before we reach for that snack, maybe think about reaching for some water. Maybe give it 10 or 15 minutes and see if that hunger can subside, if that feeling subsides. And, often you'd be amazed at how much it does. And, we often talk about, or I often talk on this channel about when we get that feeling that we want something to snack on. And it could just be that we've not long eaten a meal, but yet that feeling comes in. It might be that we want something to snack. Maybe, guys, it could be just thirst. It might be that when we've eaten before, we've had something and it's maybe been a little bit salty or a little bit sweet or maybe a little bit dry. And now our bodies is calling out for hydration. But if we're not aware of our body cues, our body signals, if we're not taking that pause, I always talk about having that, 10 or 15 minutes pause. Maybe if we're not taking time to distract ourselves, if we don't do that, we can just automatically think that we're hungry and then go and eat. And that can derail us. But if we just have that pause, take that time to reflect, and whilst we're doing that, have a glass of water, or at least a few sips, then sometimes that is just enough just to take away that feeling of hunger. Because it could be that actually we're not actually hungry, it's just that we're thirsty. So yeah, really important that we have water on hand and we're listening to those body cues and having that water. The number two reason why water is so important is because it can boost our metabolism. Now, there are lots of studies out there to suggest that water can temporarily increase our metabolic rate. So what that means is that it can help to burn more calories. So chilled water, when we drink our water chilled, like this is here, with it's tap water with ice, and I've just dropped it. Oh, how clever. How clever, Angela. Just drop the water. My ice cubes are all over the floor. Look at that. My ice cubes are... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, let's carry on, because I've got another bottle of water here. So, I know, what am I like? What am I like? So, where was I? Yeah, so there are studies that suggest that drinking water can temporarily increase our metabolic rate, meaning that, you know, we can burn more calories. And chilled water in particular might, you know, I'm not saying this is definitive, because after all, I'm not a doctor, not a nurse, not a trained medical practitioner, not a scientist, not a doctor. But it's suggested that when we drink chilled water, it make our bodies work that little bit harder to get warmer, and therefore it can make a difference by slightly increasing the amount of calories that our bodies have to burn. And at the end of the day, every little bit helps. So number 3, the third reason why hydration, and in particular water, can really help us is it's essential for our digestive system to function properly. You know, it can, when we stay hydrated every day and throughout the day, it can help with our bodies breaking down the food that we eat, and then that allows our bodies to absorb the nutrients, and it gives our bodies, you know, direct it to where it's needed. It is also really crucial in detoxifying our bodies. It allows our bodies to flush out the waste that it doesn't need, and any toxins as well. And when our bodies is functioning properly, it's absorbing all the nutrients that our bodies need, but at the same time it's eliminating and flushing out the toxins. It can support our weight loss efforts. So at this point, guys, we know why it's important, but let's keep it real. You know, sometimes just drinking plain water can be a bit boring, and you know, for some people it can be really difficult to drink, and you know, it can be easy to forget to drink enough throughout the day. So here's some of my top tips for my hydration hacks, I should say. I love that, my hydration hacks to make drinking water our best friend. So my number one hack is to get a good water bottle. Now I have 5 water bottles, different types. I've got these clear plastic ones, and this is like half a litre. I have 2 of these water flasks, and these can, I mean, at the moment I'm using them to keep for water to keep it cold, but these also work well when I'm on holiday and going on a bus trip, because it keeps more water hot. And I also put tea in them as well. So, but for these purposes of this, yeah, I like to keep these in the fridge, keep my water cold. And then I've got 2, so I've got this small water bottle, the plastic one. I've got 2 750ml plastic bottles as well, and 2 of my flasks. So having different types of water bottles can really help. But also, if it's the colours and the styles and the prints that you like, I know it sounds, you know, maybe a bit childish, but drinking out of a water bottle that you actually like. Yeah, I love this one. This was given to me as a gift, and I really like the colours. Can make us want to use it as well. So, you know, having a water bottle or water bottles at hand, can really make the difference. So sometimes when we have water bottles and we can keep them with us, whether it's, around the home, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the car, if we're going out, at work, on our desk, it can make it, and it's visible, it's more likely that we're going to drink it. Whereas if every time we think, oh, we want to drink and we've got to go somewhere to the water station or down to the kitchen, it's an effort. So doing the thing of least resistance means that we're more likely to drink it. So always having the water bottle handy with us in sight means that we're more likely to drink it. So that's my hack number 1, my hydration hack. So hydration hack number 2 is, if you find it difficult just to drink plain water, then maybe infuse it. So there's lots and lots of things that you can infuse your water with. So it could be veggies, fruit, or herbs. So just a couple of tips, things that I personally like is cucumber and mint. So if you've got a cucumber, maybe you even grow mint in a pot in your garden, just slice up a couple of slices of cucumber, crush it to release the flavour, and then also just pick and wash a couple of mint leaves, and then again crush them, put them in the water, and give your water bottle a really good shake. And then, for me personally, it would then have to have a few ice cubes in, and then go in the fridge to let it seep. Lovely. Lemon and ginger. Oh, so again, I like to slice up a couple of slices of lemon, squeeze it to let that juice come out, and I'll put the whole lot in, like the whole lemon slice I pop in, and then with ginger, crush my ginger, but sometimes I'll also grate the ginger as well and let all of that juice go in. Again, same thing, ice if I can, or leave it in the fridge to seep. Berries, if you want that sweetness, berries is a really good one. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, anything like that. Just, again, crush them, pop it in the water and let that seep. Things like orange, a slice of orange with some rosemary. Again, the rosemary, the herb, crush the rosemary, crush the orange, beautiful combination. Apples, again, sometimes if I've got apples that are just past their freshness, then again slice them up, drop them in the water, leave them to seep. Absolutely beautiful. Things like parsley and basil and cucumber, basil and mint, parsley and mint, anything like that, guys, is, it's gonna be refreshing. It's gonna take the plain water taste away, and it's gonna, if you add the fruits in, you're gonna get that little bit of sweetness. What that does, it gives you that flavour and the taste without the added calories and without any sweetness too. But there are times that you may just want something really sweet. So having a little drop of orange squash, lemon squash, blackcurrant squash, that's not going to derail you. So, and I will put my hands up. I do regularly drink the squash in my water. I like to mix it up with my fruits and my herbs, and I do have squash in my water. Absolutely fine. Some people like sugar-free squash, that's fine. I personally just go for the regular stuff, and I like a little bit of that, because again, it gives me that sweetness without adding a huge amount of calories throughout the day. Hack number 3, if you're at home with your family, with your friends, and particularly children, again, getting a great big jug adding your ice, your water, mixing it up with some lemon, some herbs or some squash, and just having it out on the table, on the kitchen counter, is a great idea. So it then becomes sociable when you're with your family or your friends. Just pouring that glass of water can just help us just to consume that little bit more. Also, my next one is drinking water before and after you've eaten. Now, there's, lots of people have said, you shouldn't drink water before you eat. Some people say you shouldn't drink it after you eat. But, drinking water throughout the day, I think, is absolutely key. What I'd say is, don't go drinking a whole full half litre of water before you eat or after you eat, but having little sips throughout, absolutely fine. So I have heard it said, people say don't drink lots of water after you eat because your body then flushes through and it won't absorb the nutrients. There are so many things being said out there, but as I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a scientist. But if you regularly sip water throughout the day, having a few sips before your dinner, having a few sips during your dinner and after your dinner is good. Yeah. The key is just keep sipping water throughout the day. So the next hack is to set a little timer, if that helps you. If you struggle drinking water throughout the day, maybe that can help you. Maybe think about setting a timer if you've got a smartwatch, to maybe every 30 minutes or so to have a little sip of water. Other things might help you is to set a cue. So it could be that every time you look at your phone, you have a sip of water. Every time you think, I'm going to scroll on social media, you have a little sip. It could be that every time you get up and go to the kitchen to boil the kettle, you have a little sip. It could be every time you flick through the TV, or channel surf on Netflix, you have a little sip. Whatever you do regularly throughout the day, try and link having water with it. So whatever works for you, think about something that you do regularly and then maybe link it with having a sip of water. It could be, for example, that you're a cat lover like me, and every time you give the cats a cuddle, you go and have a sip of water. So finding those cues can really help us. The next hack I'd say is, if like me, you are a tea drinker, or it could be that you like to drink coffee, or it could be that you like fizzy drinks or even alcohol, then maybe swap one of those with water, a glass of water, or it could be that you have a sip of water or a few sips of water before you have that. So, that can just mean that you're not depriving yourself. It's not that I'm saying don't have the tea or the coffee or don't have the fizzy drink or that alcohol. No, if that's what you want, have that. But you just topping it with some water first, having a few sips of water and then having your tea or your coffee or your glass of wine. It could also be that once you've had that, then you also have another couple of sips of water. I know that personally when I drink alcohol, say if I'm like out socially and I'm having a drink, I will have one alcoholic drink and then my next one will always be water, a glass of water. And then if I'm going to have a third drink, it'll be alcoholic. The next one after that will be water. And when I'm out socially, if I'm, having a drink with my friends and we're at a bar or something, I don't make a song and dance of it. I will just, if they say, oh, do you want a drink? I'll just say, no, don't want to drink. Or sometimes I time it so that they get the first round in And then the second round I'll get, but that allows me then to have the water. And I never make a fuss. If they say, oh, what you're drinking, I'll just say, oh, it's just something plain, you know. So don't make a fuss about it. I just have that. It's a cheap round as well. But it's just a way of me getting the water in. But also, if say like I'm drinking at home with my friends as well, it could be that the first one is alcoholic, but the second one I might do like a cocktail, but water based. So it may be a fruit cocktail with plain water, lots of ice, with some raspberries, some strawberries, a slice of lemon and a hint of ginger. So again, getting that water in. So it just helps to keep that balance by getting that water in, but not depriving myself of having that drink that I want, if it's alcoholic or even sometimes a fizzy drink. You know, sometimes I do want something fizzy. I do want that, but we'll always top and tail it with the water. And I think what's really key is to find a routine with the water, making sure that whatever you are doing, it's sustainable and you've got a routine to help you go in and building that habit. So just like how we brush our teeth in the morning, or we make coffee or tea, or, you know, check our phone, then building in a habit, a routine of drinking water. So I will often take a flask of water up to bed with me at night. One, because I need to take my medication, and we're in the middle of a heat wave at the moment, and sometimes I get really hot. So if I wake up in the night, I can have a sip of water. And so I've always got that. But then it also means that I've still got a bottle of water in the morning. So first thing in the morning when I wake up, I usually have a couple of sips of water before I start to get ready. So, you know, building routines for yourself can really help. And when you have those routines and, you know, you put those hydration hacks in throughout the day, you will be surprised at how much water you actually drink throughout the day. A few sips here, a few sips there throughout the day, you'd be amazed. You can also get water bottles with those markers on as well, and some people find those really useful so that they can keep on top of, you know, the markers of how much water they need to drink by 10 o'clock or by lunchtime or by mid-afternoon. So those markers can help people too. So, you know, people often ask me, well, how much water should I drink? Well, this is a personal one, and it's always going to vary from person to person. Now, there is that thing out there that everybody should be drinking 2 litres of water. And, you know, I don't subscribe to that. There's lots of reasons why how much water we drink will vary. So at the moment, we're in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK. You know, we're like 30 degrees plus. On days like that, where it's hot, most people will need lots more water than they would typically drink, because we're perspiring more, so we get thirsty more often, so we do need to replenish. So keep drinking lots of water to keep us cooler. I can easily get through 3 litres of water in the heat. When you're on holiday as well, you might find that you're drinking more water because you might be having more foods that have been prepared for you. They might have more salt in, so you feel thirstier. It might be that you're drinking more alcohol as well, and that can make you thirstier. Plus, you could just be perspiring more, so you're losing water, so you can feel thirstier. So having more water and consuming more water, really important to have. Also, your age as well. If you're a younger person and you're more physically active, you might need to drink more water than somebody who's older. If you're older and you've got health conditions, that can also affect how much water you drink. when the weather is cold and it's cooler, you might find that you're drinking less water than when it's hot. So everybody will need a different amount, need to drink different amounts of water. There isn't a one size fits all. And of course, you know, some people with health conditions may need more water. Some people with other health conditions may need less water. So, you know, or if you have medical conditions, always be guided by your medical practitioner. But my best tip for you is be guided by your body and how you feel on how much water you need. But also be aware of your body's cues and signals that you're not drinking enough water. So if your urine is particularly dark, it may be that you're hydrated and not drinking enough. If you're not going to the toilet and urinating as often as you normally do, that could also be another sign that you're dehydrated. If your lips are getting itchy and dry and sore, that could be another sign of dehydration. That's certainly one for me. I suffer with dry eyes, and when my eyes start getting itch, like they feel scratchy and itchy, that's another key sign for me that I'm getting dehydrated. It could be that your skin isn't looking as plump as it normally does. It could be that you're getting deep lines on your skin. That can also be a sign of dehydration. It could be that you're feeling really tired and lethargic. That could also be a sign that you're getting dehydrated. So again, you know, look out for those cues and signals that your body will give you that you're dehydrated. But if you can keep sipping the water throughout the day, staying hydrated, that's going to help you, and it's going to give you more energy to move, to cook and eat well, and all of those things can help us on the weight loss journey. So guys, there we go, a few tips, a few hacks. I have lost to date over 12 stone, 173 pounds, and staying hydrated and drinking plenty of water has been absolutely key for me. And I know that lots of the clients that I work with, they also tell me that drinking water has been absolutely key for them on their health and wellness journey. So guys, thank you so much for being with me today. Do drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you struggle with drinking water, and if you have done in the past, how you're addressing that. But also, if you don't struggle, if getting water in is easy for you, share a hack or two that you do to get that water in. Do share with us, guys. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you found these tips and these hydration hacks of value. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and I will see you in another video. Take care now, guys. Bye.